Two teams in the First Division, the biggest game of the season so far. Wigan against Leeds. It's the ultimate challenge. John Mooney's side have been struggling of late. David Ward's men are bang in form. 25,000 crammed into Central Park. Wigan against Leeds. It's the Championship countdown.
14 rugby league coaches took on the First Division Championship challenge. Only 2 have been able to meet it.
Well, this is special in as much as if we win tonight, there's 2 games to go and we'd be 4 points clear, so we can possibly sew the title up tonight.
Well, for Leeds to win the Championship this season, we've got to knock over Wigan tonight and maintain our form and win his last 2 remaining games. It's as simple as that.
When John Mooney's Wigan and David Ward's Leeds did battle at Headingley last month, it was Mooney who fired his intercept missile.
Oh, this is slow one for Schofield. Good ball as well for QET. Schofield again. Now in Leeds. Oh, it's out of the hands of the interception is by Preston. And they might not catch Mark Preston. He's one of the fastest wingers in the game. And they're not going to get him. Mark Preston surely puts the seal on a Wigan victory at Headingley.
Leeds had lost only once in 3 months before they lost their way against Wigan. A week later, they seem to have lost all hope. Defeat by Warrington. Mid-March, advantage Wigan. David Ward thought it was game, set and match, but the defending champions had other ideas. Here's Andy Courier. Kept alive for Martin O'Fire. David Hume, oh, they've got men over. Holiday, beautifully timed. It's Alan Tate's hat-trick. Oh, and a little Steve Ovett wave to go with it. What a day for Alan Tate. What a day for Widnes. Widnes' last defiant swipe hit Wigan hard. They lost again 4 days later. Battered and bruised, they arrived at Wakefield on the slide. But they were climbing again before the night was through. Leeds kept pace against St Helens.
Powell. Roy Powell. Well, he's going for it and he's got Phil Ford there. It's a hat-trick.
St Helens need a mathematical miracle then. It's a top table for 2. Two points in it, 2 more games to play, but they'll hardly matter if Wigan win tonight.
Everything to play for, tension mounting. Time to join commentators Clive Tilsley and Brian Smith.
John Mooney didn't confirm his starting lineup until an hour before kick-off. Andy Gregory's groin injury keeps him on the substitutes bench, but 2 of the Wigan men who were ruled out of the Great Britain squad last week are fit to start. Andy Goodway and Ellery Hanley. The Wigan skipper's not only the best rugby league player in the world, he's one of the toughest. He too has a groin problem. He hasn't trained for 2 weeks. His coach says nobody else in the game would have played with such an injury. Injured pride is the only problem for Sean Edwards. Nobody took Britain's weekend defeat to heart quite like he did. He'll be fired up tonight, all right. Well, Leeds make 1 change from the lineup that put 50 points on St Helens last time out. Number 6, Gary Schofield, has engineered their late run at the title. His half-back partner this evening, under-21 international Paul Delaney, deputising for the suspended David Cruikshank. The man in charge tonight, the vastly experienced Robin Whitfield from the champion town of Widnes. Kick-off for this championship showdown, delayed more than 15 minutes. Motorway traffic tailed back 7 miles. It's a packed house in the region of 30,000 with that extra edge to the atmosphere that a match under floodlights always seems to have. As if we needed any extra edge. Ellery Hanley. The championship race continued to the very last match a year ago, when Wigan, of course, were pipped by Widnes. Leeds themselves are only 2 points behind in 3rd place, but they're 1 and 2 tonight. Adrian Shelford. Goulding's kick. John Bentley, the Leeds winger. Terrific tackling in the opening minutes. Brian Smith, these 2 sides, you hardly need to say, are fired up.
As we can see in that defence as you just described, Clive, they're right into it, right from the start, the very first one, and I'll expect this to last for quite a while.
Goodway a little bit high. Delaney, the young scrum half, a lot of responsibility on his young shoulders this evening. It's been in the shadows of the Australians Craig Coleman and David Cruikshank for much of the season, but Coleman's back home in Australia and Cruikshank is suspended. Schofield. Great pressure there from Martin Dermott. Here's Steve Hampson. So many players on the field tonight too, with the chance to impress the Great Britain coach Mal Reilly, who's in this massive crowd at Central Park. Will name his summer tour party tomorrow. Edwards. Dean Bell back in the action. Kevin Iro. Steve Hampson finding touch. He gets so fired up for these big matches, Steve Hampson. He actually makes himself physically ill before he comes out to play. Astonishing tension in the two dressing rooms tonight. So much riding on this match. Bobby Gouldy. Sean Edwards. Kevin Iro. They've got to hang on to him. Once he gets some breathing space, he's away.
It's easier said than done, isn't it, holding on to him?
Dermott with the break this time. 5 tackles. Big examination of the Leeds defence. Dean Bell. So much pent-up frustration during that 10-game suspension. Handing the ball over.
Wigan definitely winning the chess game at the moment. They're certainly at the right end of the field for most of it so far.
Mike Kuiti. Big Helen. Just look at the ferocity of that tackling. Been forced back 5 yards.
Big feature of that defence is the work of the markers. Watch how both markers are really up first and very eager for work. It gives everyone else in the line a chance to put pressure on that forces those sorts of errors.
Dennis Betts, the man who did it. Dermott. Hanley. Goulding. Edwards. Run around. Surging burst by Andy Goodway. Ball came free. But Leeds have been penalised. And Wigan will have the opportunity to open their account.
Was bound to come. I mean, a penalty or a try had to come from this, all this pressure that Wigan are mounting. And it's not just territorial advantage, it's the ferocity of the tackling that's forcing the error, and eventually that just had to come.
It's a strange thing that in the 16 years of the modern two-division Rugby League Championship, Wigan have won it just once in 1987, and Leeds have never won it. And expectations are not higher at any two clubs in the country. The demand for success is intense. So Bobby Goulding, who's kicked so many important points in the Wigan cause, kicks 2 more. And the men in cherry and white have the early advantage. 10 minutes gone. Schofield again. Hampson. Faultless so far. Stealing yards he's no right to again.
Not just faultless, he's the outstanding figure in the game so far. His positional play has been absolutely outstanding.
Kevin Iro, watch him go. Now who can lay a hand on this man? Vince Fawcett. Goulding to Hanley. Shelford. Edwards. Resurrecting the move. Finding Bobby Goulding. Trying to scamper in alone. He's still got support from Preston. And Mark Preston's in. Great try for Wigan. Preston, the specialist finisher. But Bobby Goulding, the bag of tricks. 21 minutes gone. Wigan in front.
We pick up the try here from Bobby Goulding. Look at the strength and agility involved here, and a gem of a pass. Preston put the ball down, but Goulding did the business. He's really in a search of a hole anywhere he can find it, and that's the mark of a real class player, to find a pass like that in a pressure game.
Try number 30 for Mark Preston this season, but Bobby Goulding's really plagued Leeds this season. 18 years of age, he's still learning his trade. But he scored a try at Leeds last month. He kicked a couple of vital goals in the Regal Trophy replay here in December. And Goulding again has come up with a vital play. Hey, and that's not bad either. He's not a first-choice player.
Maybe not for you or John Money. I think I've said it before and I'll say it again, I think he's the outstanding young figure in the game. As you say, still learning his trade, Clive, but I tell you what, he makes every lesson count if he's still learning it.
And Leeds have been forced to make a substitution and bring on Roy Powell in place of Gary Devorty, with just over a quarter of the match gone.
Great Britain replacement on Saturday and Leeds replacement on Tuesday.
Preston the try scorer. Shelford. Roy Powell has been substituted in 4 of those 5 Great Britain tests so far this season. He's been in and out of the Leeds side for the last 6 months. Devorty has twisted his right ankle. You'd think Wigan were playing their first match of the season. There's a freshness about them tonight which belies their crowded fixture programme. They're really wound up.
Yeah, they're as tight as a drum. Enthusiastic, strong in defence, minimal number of errors, great kick chase. They've got everything covered at the moment.
And Fawcett couldn't scoop that up from Kuwaiti. And Leeds are a bit desperate even at this early stage. 1 or 2 rash passes.
Even with all the class players Leeds have got, this is what happens to players. Players are completely different when they're put under pressure. Some players just can't handle it.
Hampson in the line again. Dean Bell. Ooh, that's a bit tight and Ford's gathered it. Mark Preston will catch him. No, he won't. Ford's still alive. Great run by Phil Ford. Great chance for Gary Schofield. Hanley's back there. Ford. Powell. Well, you never quite know what to expect from Phil Ford. That's the attraction of the man. Wigan caught offside. Leeds, as close as they've been, will surely take the points.
Mr. Whitfield's on the ball again. He spotted Sean Edwards even though he was wide out. It's an important 2 points this for Leeds. Maybe just a little bit of confidence to come from a 2-pointer here.
Well, we've got a little piece of history in the making here because Colin Maskell, the Leeds hooker, has kicked 99 goals so far this season.
There's a loose pass by Dean Bell. Ford was onto it as quick as a flash. Preston couldn't hold on. Lovely play by Leeds, but also a feature there was the ability of Wigan to regroup their defence very quickly.
And Colin Maskell bids to become the first hooker in rugby league history to kick 100 goals in a season. Rewrite the record books. And Maskell's goal gives Leeds some kind of start in a match that Wigan have dominated. Wigan 8, Leeds 2, and it looks like Ellery Hanley's in trouble here. And Ian Gildart has replaced him, and the big gamble on Hanley may not have paid off. And I wonder what that will mean for his tour prospects. Schofield, Fawcett, he's big enough, he's fast enough. Good tackle, Jed Byrne, you can rely on him. Wigan penalised, Edwards again. And Colin Maskell gets the opportunity to start in his second century.
Colin Maskell might be asking Mr. Whitfield there if we could have played advantage. This was another scrum break. Vince Fawcett, look at the legs on that guy. He can really push, great strength. Burns done a great job to bulldog him down, but even there he's up and ready to go again. I think the penalty here came from Sean Edwards striking too early in the play the ball, but it might have been one of those penalties where he was glad to give it away for a 2-point rather than 6.
David Ward wrapped up in this match. Everybody here is. No problem for Maskell from there. His second penalty of the night. And all that early promise and menace from Wigan has evaporated somewhat. They've lost their way, they've lost their skipper, and they just lost the initiative for a moment or so. They haven't lost the lead yet. It's Wigan by 8 points to 4. It's the fourth time these two have met this season. Wigan haven't lost one yet. Gary Schofield ran in 4 tries, the last time Leeds beat them 18 months ago. And that's gone dead on the full.
It's all starting to go astray here for Wigan, and it's come about through some errors, unforced errors.
Paul Dixon.
Good tackle, Goulding.
So much a game of momentum, rugby league. Suddenly things start to go your way, suddenly people start to believe, and they run a pound or two heavier and they run a yard or two quicker. Roy Powell. David Heron. Ackerman. Well seen, well picked up. Mark Preston. Go forward in pursuit. Good night. A painful but a precious try by Mark Preston. And Wigan are lifted again.
Here we saw an error by Leeds that's led directly to a try, but didn't it take all the speed of one of the quickest men in the game? He's so relaxed, his running style is absolutely electrifying. And even though he's been pushed into the hoardings there, he'll feel no pain after such an important try in the most important game of the season.
What a tackle by Dean Bell that made it possible.
Look at him change the ball. He's ready to fend off Bill Ford if necessary, but he's just too fast. Bentley can't get there, Ford can't get there, Preston's done it again.
Ice cool.
He's as cool as a cucumber, that kid.
Delaney, Coiti, an unexpected late chance for Leeds. But Wigan have held firm in defence, conceded just 2 Colin Maskell penalties, and have reached the half-time interval with a healthy lead, thanks to 2. Wigan 14, Leeds 4, the half-time score, and astonishingly, Ellery Hanley has reappeared in the Wigan team for this second half, replacing Philip Clark. The Wigan and Great Britain skipper did suffer a recurrence of his long-standing groin injury, which kept him out for 5 months earlier in the season. But his courage matches his talent. Bobby Goulding. His cheek matches his talent. Two of the only 3 sides who've ever completed a post-war double of Challenge Cup and league winners. And if Wigan can maintain their advantage tonight, they look certain to go to the Challenge Cup in 2.5 weeks' time, with the first half of the double complete. Cavill Hugh for Leeds, who without Mike Kuiti for the start of this second half, he's injured, and Gary Lord, the substitute back, is on in his place. Schofield testing out Byrne. Lord, the substitute, tackling low down. Leeds were the last team to do the double back in '68, in the days of Hines and Seaborn and Atkinson and Batten. But this is a Wigan team of all talents. Dennis Betts, manhandled by Powell and Hugh. Adrian Shelford. Bumper cars. Good way. Almost arrogant, wasn't it? Good tackle, though. Goulding. That's a clever little kick in behind John Bentley. (18) going on 28, Bobby Goulding. Roy Powell for Leeds. Bradley slip. Good player Paul Dixon, the Leeds number 10. Not the possible tourist. Hampson. Hugh leading the chase. Dixon's there again. He'll top the Leeds tackle count tonight, you can be sure of that. The amazing Hanley. You wince on behalf of Wigan and Great Britain every time he takes a tackle. Leeds offside. John Money, the Wigan coach, watching from aloft. Of course, it is big, strapping Great Britain under-21 international winger. Letting some of the forwards work for them again.
That's great marker play. The Wigan crowd are really appreciating the effort that their players are putting in. They've had an enormous task over the past few weeks, but they've risen to the occasion so far. With another 20-odd minutes, 25 minutes to go in this game, if they can keep this pressure up for another 10, maybe 15, all the pressure then will be on Wigan, on Leeds to do something, to come up with something fancy.
Advantage play, but not taken. Heron to Delaney. Won't run through Hanley.
Great tackle.
Powell out to Maskell. Cavill Hugh. Bobby Goulding trying to get a hand. Big brother Dean Bell helping out. Oh, I say, Dean Bell high. Now he's only just got back from suspension. Wigan are furious. They think he's made more of it than he needs. Now, what will Robin Whitfield do here?
He'll listen to his touch judge. He's an experienced referee. He'll listen to what his touch judge has to say. He won't listen to what anything else.
Man with the yellow flag is Ken Spencer.
I think he might be in trouble, Clive.
Oh, I say. It was a high swinging arm.
He's not going to send him off if he's talking to him for this long. I think it's a fair decision myself. He went in to make a tackle on another player. There was a bit of reaction. He might have clipped him high, but he's certainly up on his feet and playing on. I don't think he hurt him too much.
Well, Dean Bell will be mightily relieved.
My word, he will.
I think I'm right in saying that a high tackle is not a sin bin offence. You're either on or off.
It's an interpretation by the referee.
And the interpretation that Leeds would like to put on it is to take their own revenge from inside the Wigan 25 with Cavill Hugh. Maskell, switch to Heron. Dixon. Martin Dermott doing the necessary low down. Schofield. Heron. Ambitious ball. Ackerman. Bentley outside him. Ackerman again. Kept alive. Gary Lord. Paul Delaney. Oh, they regrouped so quickly.
Oh, they've scrambled well in defence there.
5 tackles. Now or never maybe for Leeds. Heron. Ford. He'll want to go himself.
No, the referee's called
it.
offside. It's offside. He's blown the whistle very early. There's no doubt the Wigan players stopped. They heard the whistle.
And Leeds will settle for 2 points. It'll be a rather disheartened Leeds side who stand and watch their hooker try to narrow the Wigan lead. They'll be even more disheartened if he misses it. He's not done though. 14-6. Maskell recovers some of the ground, but not as much as Leeds will feel they're entitled to.
This is the real testing period for Leeds here. They need to force a big error. And they'll get it if they continue to tackle like that.
Big defensive stiffness by Leeds. Edwards. Now Canaro get them out of trouble. Carl Gibson won't tackle him. Fawcett won't tackle him.
He should have a licence for those arms of his. They're lethal weapons.
Arrow feeling a bit aggrieved. Now what will Leeds do? Maskell for touch. It's season on the line time for Leeds and Wigan. Wigan with an 8-point advantage, defending desperately for the moment. A quarter of the match remaining. Delaney, Hugh, he's done it! Cavill Hugh, Leeds back in business. The first chink in the Wigan defence, found and exploited by the big Australian Cavill Hugh.
This is great strength. He's a player I've coached myself back in Australia, Cavill Hugh. He's a very strong player, well balanced, knows where the try line is, and for a big man he scores an awful lot of tries. It's a well-worked play by Leeds. It's a missed tackle by Shelford. A one-on-one. Cavalhew got the points. There you can see the strength. You saw the try line. Hanley was just too late.
Well, Cavalhew's known the ups and downs of rugby league in Great Britain. Started the season with Barrow, had such a hapless time, but he won a championship with Halifax in his first visit to this country, and he's got another on his mind now again. Oh, hit both posts.
Wow. What a kick.
That's the margin between winners and losers in a match like this.
Is he pumped up or what?
It's so finely balanced. Just watch. Right side, left side, and through the door. David Heron.
This is a heavyweight contest. It's going to go all the way.
This is how I guess the War of the Roses was. Powell. Red Rose pride in those cherry and white hoops. Schofield right down the throat of Steve Hampson.
He's got mental telepathy, that guy. He's read all the kickers all night.
Two points the difference. Wigan in front, in possession. Dermott burrowing away. Goulding. Andy Goodway. Bobby Goulding again. Dermott directing. Hanley. Now, one burst of Ellery Hanley settled the semi-final. Fifth tackle. Hampson, he'll take one if he can get it. Oh, there you are. One goal kick, hits both posts and goes over. Another hits one post and stays out.
Now you know why we coaches call it a game of inches.
Boy, that's unlucky. 8 minutes to go in the most important rugby league match played in this country this season.
Both teams have had an even spread of possession. The scoreline's even, or almost even. And here's the man who John Money's looking for, just to break them up a little with his strength. That little step, maybe a chip kick.
14-12 to Wigan. Hanley. Bell. David Heron was looking for him. Gregory. Look at this. You've just got to get in his shoulder too and he'll slip you the pass. He knows when and which pass to slip, always. Edwards. Gregory. Oh! Knock on.
Vince Fawcett, this is your life. I mean, what a pressure kick. He had all the time in the world to catch it, but he had 25,000 people bearing down on him.
And he saw them coming, I think, out of the corner of his eye.
That ball definitely took a dive on him, but it's turned this game all the way round in Wigan's favour.
Now they've got to hang on. Andy Goodway. They've got all their main men in midfield out there now. Gregory, Edwards and Hanley. Little Goulding here. An embarrassment of riches.
A big call by Mr. Whitfield, and a correct one again. He's pulled the ball out, and Schofield's pulled it out, but yeah, he's got it. He's got a call from the touch judge, but he's got it right, I think. Schofield took the odds to it.
So this is a big penalty. I don't think there was ever much doubt where they were going. They just want to take their time to get there.
Ellery Hanley's giving the ball a spit and polish. He's going to chew up the clock as long as he possibly can.
Now, whenever there's been a more important kick this season than the one that Bobby Goulding popped over at Norton Park to squeeze out the defending champions in controversial fashion, but in very calm fashion. 18 years of age, Mr. Sugar and Spice. Still as sweet.
And Leeds now must score a try to win the game. We're in the last 5. They've got to deliver a knockout here. Someone's got to come up with something absolutely special. Maybe a chip kick off here to regain the ball.
Wigan 16, Leeds 12. 4.5 minutes remaining. Andy Gregory. Try telling him he's injured. Well, these Wigan forwards will just strap the ball now to their jerseys. Gerard Bernard plays like a forward. Dennis Betts. Gregory. Forces hang on to that. Oh, Sean Edwards met him, didn't he? How do you do? My name's Edwards. Delayed in the scrum half. David Ward said to him this afternoon, this fellow will play 80 minutes and be ready for another 80 straight away. He's so strong, the little scrum half. But Leeds haven't got another 80 minutes if Wigan win this one. John Bentley though. Mark Preston's quick enough. Rob Ackerman, well killed. 3 minutes to go. 4 points the Wigan lead.
It's one missed tackle, one special pass, one special bit of footwork by a Leeds player.
There it is from Schofield. Look at the cover though, a swarm. Goodway's ripped it clear. Play on, says the referee. That might be one of the biggest heists of the year by Eddie Goodway. Burgled the ball. Just went straight in there with a wrench and ripped it out, and Wigan have got it back. Gregory showing it to Leeds, but they can't have it.
They could be on a big psychological downer here, Leeds, after tonight's game in which they've thrown absolutely everything at Wigan. They now face 2 really important games at the end of the season, and the effects of losing tonight could be seen in Featherstone and maybe Castleford next Easter Monday.
Wigan have got St Helens and Lee to play after tonight. They'd be 1 point away from the championship if they could hang on to this 4-point lead they have. But wait, here's John Bentley. Heron. Knocked down by Philip Clark. Went forward, of course. Schofield, Gibson, Delaney. Terrific tackle. Philip Clark again. Young man coming of age very rapidly. What a player he's going to be. Powell's dropped it. Goulding kicking on. Held back by Schofield, was it?
He is such a tenacious, such an eager player. He's come up with all the big plays tonight. He's my man of the match, Bobby Goulding. I know Hanley's dug deep under special circumstances, and they've had lots of good players. Leeds have had some good players too, but he's something special, Goulding.
Last seconds, Ellery Hanley. What an inspiration he is. Philip Clark, fifth tackle. Nothing silly, Wigan. Gregory. That'll do, the handover.
The crowd thought they heard the hooter, but there's more work to be done yet.
Stoppage time. Roy Powell. Wigan tackling for treasure now. Ackerman intercepted by Byrne. Clark again. 1 minute of injury time play. They're so close. That's it. It's Wigan's night. It looks certain to be their year. Another trophy is now theirs for the taking. It'll take another point to prize the championship out of witnesses' hands. But Wigan won't blow it now. Gary Schofield furious. Mark Preston, whose 2 first-half tries were so vital. Wigan's second trophy of another triumphant year, all but secured, and nobody can say they haven't deserved it. They've led virtually all the way, and they'll arrive at Wembley a fortnight on Saturday as champions, you can be sure of that. The best supported team in the Rugby League are now set to be crowned the best. 10 years ago they were in the second division.